Come a little closer. He's not listening to me. Nothing new there. Well, anyways, good morning. If it's still morning, I am so happy to be here. My name is Sheila Dillon. I know most of you, but if I don't, it's nice to meet you. And we are gathered today to celebrate a collective milestone, a collective housing milestone. As of today, the city, working with all of you, have helped mission-driven developers acquire 1,000 units of occupied rental housing. Give it up. Not only will these acquisitions provide stability for our families and neighborhoods, they will convert at-risk rental properties into permanent, affordable housing that will serve generations of Boston renters. We all know that we have a very, very strong rental market. It's causing us a lot of pain. There are many investors looking to purchase buildings in Boston. And these purchases, as we all know, we know too well, often have very, very sad endings, with residents being displaced by unreasonable rent increases or condo conversions. The acquisitions being celebrated today have stopped the speculation, and the converted buildings will become community assets for decades to come. The city's goal was to acquire 1,000 units by 2030, but we didn't think we would reach this goal so quickly. Because of the Wu administration's commitment to this program, we have met this goal 5 years early. Give it up. Since the mayor has come into office, and I thank her and I thank the city council too for their support of this program, we have acquired and stabilized and permanently preserved 400 restricted units, getting us over that 1,000 unit mark. And yes, give it up. And most recently, the mayor, working very closely with the city council, has made an additional $3 million available of the remaining ARPA funding because they recognize the importance and the impact of this program. I would now like to invite the mayor to say a few words.
I want to make sure everyone has a place to sit. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to the best housing chief in the entire country, Chief Sheila Dillon. Every day we are working on so many different initiatives across the city. And when you talk with residents about what matters, we talk about schools, we talk about jobs, we talk about climate, safety. And at the end of the day, it all comes back down to how do we make Boston, thanks, Ruthie. How do we make Boston home? Home starts here. And having a place that is your very own, where you are with the people that you love, where you're with a community that you're connected to, that's the foundation that everything else gets built upon. So Chief Dillon's efforts and her entire team who are here, they're working on so many different ways to make sure that our residents in Boston can take advantage of all of the great things that are happening in every other way. Because what does it matter if we're creating jobs and improving quality of life in all ways, but then residents are getting displaced out of the communities that they grew up in? And so that sense of how do we put our roots down deep in the neighborhoods that community members have built up, and how do we make sure that the next generation can have that same sense of security and stability? That's our charge. We're here today at the beautiful home of Miss Yvette and Miss Chandra, so thank you for having us over. And their stories, their talents and contributions to our community are so critical to making Boston who we are. And I'm so happy that they've been willing to host us, because we talk about these numbers all the time, right? 1,000 units and more affordable housing produced under Chief Dillon and her team, and our cabinet than at any other time in the last 25 years. But at the end of the day, this is about people. And all the numbers come down to the stories of families who are still trying to make ends meet, taking their kids to school, going to work, getting involved, helping their neighbors. That's what makes a city real. So I want to thank everyone who's been involved with this initiative. 1,000 units of housing, 1,000 families preserved and rooted in our neighborhoods, 5 years ahead of schedule, with another 400 families in the pipeline for us to keep going. So this is just one of the ways in which we are really pushing hard on housing. That has been our biggest focus. That has been where we put the majority of our federal recovery dollars. That has been the greatest investment that we've made in housing at any other time, compared to any other time in the city's history. It's funding for stabilizing community members in the homes they already live in, and to make sure that market rate units become permanently affordable so that displacement fear goes away. It's boosting home ownership. It's helping people create ADUs and the live-in units for multi-generational families to all stay together. It's using city land to build more affordable housing, such as some of the projects that we're doing, putting housing on top of libraries and other city buildings that need renovations. And it's working with a huge coalition of partners to make sure that we are all on the same page when it comes to housing. So raise your hand if you work for an organization that is one of our treasured partners with the city. I see City Life, Vida Urbana here, MAHA, Action for Equity, CPA. I mean, I don't know which hat Suzanne is wearing today of the many, many hats, the Land Trust, Chinatown Land Trust, Chinese Progressive Association. Norfolk Construction has been a big partner in actually making these happen. And of course, we're going to hear in a little bit from Meredith Levy of all the great work that was possible for this particular home and the portfolio that's represented here. I now want to bring up our partner on the City Council, Council President Ruth Lujan, because the City Council has made the funding of this possible with all the allocations through the American Rescue Plan, with the approval of city budgets, and with this latest, well, we're working through the progress of the latest allocation, but standing with us on affirming that the remaining ARPA dollars should go to the programs that have been making the biggest difference and can help right away. Madam President, Lujan has also been such a staunch and strong supporter of the residential tax relief proposal that just yesterday we finally reached a major agreement with some of the groups that have been opposing. And so we're so thankful that now, as we start back through the process of affirming and taking the votes at the Council, House, and Senate level, that we have a proposal that represents consensus, which will still see businesses have their taxes go down, but will make sure that residents do not have a residential tax spike, because we need to keep the cost of living as low as possible for all of our community members. So thank you for all your advocacy on so many of those fronts. President Lujan.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for your commitment to the work of anti-displacement, which is why the Acquisition Opportunity Program that we are all here celebrating is so, so important. Thank you to Chief Dillon, to your entire team, to Alex, to Rick, to all the work that you do to make sure that our residents are able to stay safely housed. Ruth Lujan, President of the Boston City Council and at-large City Councilor, and it really brings me joy to be here, not only because the Boston City Council at every step of the way, whether it was in the allocation a few years ago for ARPA, allocating $27 million to the Acquisition Opportunity Program, or just a few weeks ago with the most recent allocation of the remaining ARPA funds, saying that we believe so deeply and so strongly in the Acquisition Opportunity Program, because we know that it is easier to preserve housing, to prevent displacement, than it is to create that new unit of housing. So the more that we can do to keep people in their homes and in their houses, and to prevent that displacement and to prevent the gentrification that comes with that displacement, the better off we all are. The stabler families are, the better education outcomes for our young kids. So preventing displacement is more than just about ensuring that someone has a roof over their heads. It's about all of the things that we know matter: preserving education, healthcare access. And so, like the mayor said, I just want to thank all of the incredible partners who are here, who are doing the work every day of anti-displacement. Thank you for allowing us to chill at your house today. And I'm sure, but for the organizing work of City Life, to really demand that we preserve and protect people and prevent displacement, we would not be here. So shout out to the on-the-ground organizers who make this happen. And I see Tanya here from the East Boston CDC and the Blue Line portfolio, that partnership with the city that's also about how do we preserve housing, how are we keeping people in their homes, and how are we breathing life into the fact that housing is a human right. We do that through the Acquisition Opportunity Program, through everything that the mayor outlined, and through working collectively to build a city that we all believe in. And it's one where our working class families can call Boston home. So thank you everyone for all of your work, and I look forward to the next celebratory moment where we've invested in 1,000 more units via AOP. Thanks everyone.
Thank you, City Council President. So I'm going to be brief, but it really is a collective effort. Competing in the market for these properties is not an easy thing to do. And then you're buying a property that has tenants in them with established relationships. And oftentimes you're buying buildings that need immediate life safety improvements. So I do want to recognize, some of them have been recognized already, but I'm going to recognize the folks that have really, in the last 2 years, bought properties, and the funders that have made that a possibility too. So I'll be very quick, but it's worth doing. East Boston CDC, ARCS Urban, Chinatown Land Trust, the Southwest Boston CDC, Boston Community Land Trust, business owners Nikla Landon and Baron Langston, who bought a beautiful building in Hyde Park and kept businesses on the first floor and housing on top. The Asian CDC, Norfolk Design and Construction, Fenway CDC, the Addiction Treatment Center of New England, Alston Brighton CDC, and the Shockett Companies. And the lenders, Eastern Bank, the Life Initiative, Blue Hub, Property and Casualty Initiative, and CDAC. Round of applause for you all. You're heroes. You are heroes. And the staff at the Mayor's Office of Housing, you have to move on these very quickly because there's a lot of folks that want to buy properties. So you need to get the application, you need to underwrite it very carefully, and you need to really understand all of the outstanding issues and get them resolved within weeks, not months or years. So I do want to recognize our folks at the Mayor's Office of Housing, Adam Goldstein, Christine O'Keefe, and Stephen Donovan, and of course Rick Wilson, our A&F director, who keeps us honest. It really has been wonderful working with all of you, and people are so dedicated to this program, even though it is so hard. There's wonderful examples in those 1,000 units, really wonderful developments and wonderful tenant organizations. But we can only highlight 2 because we don't want to be here all day. So I do want to ask Meredith and Yvette to come up and tell their story about acquiring this building.
Hi, everyone. My name is Meredith Levy, and I'm the Executive Director for Boston Neighborhood Community Land Trust, joined by some of our board members and our partners, City Life, Vida Urbana, and many others who have been champions for this work that we do to take properties off the speculative market. And, of course, Yvette and Shonda. Yvette will speak in just a minute. It's great to be here. We want to really extend our heartfelt thanks to the mayor, to the city council, and to the Mayor's Office of Housing. That team has been really incredible in helping us. And I do want to say it is not easy, just to echo Chief Dillon, it's not easy. Each property that we acquire is an act of total love. It takes a lot of time. And the folks at the city have been in there with us navigating some really tricky scenarios. I'm remembering a time when on Christmas Eve, Chief Dillon called the fire marshal so that we could get our certification to move forward with the purchase. And they'll go the extra mile again and again. We really appreciate it. But really, the most important thing that comes out of this is that folks they're able to live in their properties and it will be affordable forever. And they become part of our land trust community. So that's the best. That is what it's all about. It's the people. And so many people are getting displaced all the time. In this, we know we're at a crisis level. So our work as a land trust is to make sure we can keep folks in their homes and keep the neighborhoods really thriving the way they should be. We are committed to not just affordable housing for a few years, but forever. So that's really important to us. No one in our community spends more than 30% of their incomes on housing. That's really important. And this building, this is a 2-family. This will be here with us in the community forever with our folks who are now part of our community. And this means they don't have to worry about, oh my gosh, am I going to get an eviction letter? Am I going to have to move out? Am I going to be able to afford? They don't have to worry about that. That goes away. So this is really, really powerful. Another really important thing about AOP is that it's a program that is really effective. It works. We wouldn't have been able to buy, in the last 3 years, we've been able to buy 5 buildings through AOP. And that means 17 more families are able to live in our properties and be part of our land trust, community-controlled land trust. That's really valuable, and this is a very, very effective program. For every dollar that we're able to get from the city through AOP, we're able to leverage two more dollars. So we get loans from TLI and from others. We have philanthropy, et cetera, but we're able to make these projects work because of AOP. So that's like a very important point, is that it is leveraging so much more. Also, it's the backbone and the DNA for a brand new state program called the Small Properties Acquisition Fund, which is hot off the press, but that helps us extend the work that we're doing here in this city with what can happen statewide. So I wanted to point that out. So I don't want to take too much time. I'm going to hand it over to Yvette, who can tell the story. But this is so important to us, and we're really excited that you did choose this site. This is a great site. It's right in the middle of the renovation. It's looking great, and when we purchased it, there were some health issues with mold, et cetera. So we're able to address that. In addition to just taking it off the speculative market, we're also making sure people can live in healthy homes. Anyway, I'm not going to take any more time from Yvette, who is a total fighter and has been an awesome leader in this. So thank you very much.
Hello, thank you. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, City Life, BNCLT. And first of all, because I am a Christian and believe totally in God, I give all my thanks to God who made all this happen. So I thank the Almighty for bringing this forward, for the fight, for the struggle, for City Life, grassroots organization, who's helped us. Steve, he is City Life, who brought this forward. All of the organizers, the leaders, all of the hard struggles, not giving up. But let me tell you the story, how it began. So how it began is the landlord selling the house, and my neighbor, Shonda, she became scared, and I'm like, don't be scared. Don't be scared. We're going to call City Life. We're going to make this happen. Don't move. Don't sign nothing. This is what happens. So being very close to Steve, Meredith, and Meredith came on board, and then we actually began to struggle. We've had many fightings and many struggles and many plans and many strategies, but we didn't give up. And so what I'm trying to tell everybody is not to give up, because right now during this time where it is a housing crisis and many are being displaced, many want to give up. There is violence. There is people that's living in the streets. And it's hard, but you cannot give up. During this time of gentrification, we thank the Land Trust, who's able to buy the place so that we're able to stay here for the rest of our lives, and we're able to make things happen. Don't have to worry about going in, anything's going to go higher. Don't have to worry about the notice to quits that we got, because we got notice to quit, but we just didn't move. So it's called Don't Move, fight. Okay? So we didn't. We went to many rallies. We fought and fought. We didn't give up. We paved the way to others so others can be able. So we're thankful for not this nonprofit organization and all the new organizations that she's brought forward in my marriages. This is my marriages. That's my Steve. I claimed them. That we're able to have this happen, and me and my neighbor and our family can be able to live without having to worry, not having to go outside and be like, oh my God, the landlord's there again, he's going to sell it. All that is over. We're able to raise our family, and we pray that this helps others, because it's very, very important that others in their family that can't afford housing is able to be stable, because when you're stable, you raise a stable family. And this is very important. It's just like how I say I'm a believer in Christ. When you grow up in a family that believes in Christ and you teach it to your next generation, it makes a difference, and it stops all of the violence. It's not going to stop it, but it's going to lower it. Just like as the fighting goes on, as we continue, we're praying that this housing crisis decreases and everybody can enjoy housing.
She did it all? Okay, great. So we often work with nonprofits and land trusts, and we love our relationship with them. But we have had for-profits also participating in this program, and I think it's a tribute to them. They really see the value of AOP properties and stabilized rents, and I really want to thank them for their work on that. And I'd like to invite up Adler from Norfolk Construction to talk a little bit about a recent project.
Good morning, everyone. Not sure I could follow everything that she said. Thank you, Mayor Wu, for everything that you do. Thank you, Chief Dillon. Thank you, the folks at the Mayor's Office of Housing. Adam, I see you. Chris, thank you for everything that you do. And one of my favorite lenders is in the audience, Molly. The other lenders, I love you as well for everything that you guys do as well. Affordable housing is at the core of our belief. My name is Adler Bernardin. I'm one of the owners of Norfolk Design and Construction. I also own a company called Lavi Investment. And I'm truly appreciative for everything that the Acquisition Opportunity Program has provided and the opportunities it's given us to give back to the community. Just want to say a little word. Preserving affordable housing is at the core of my belief. I truly believe that families should be treated with dignity, no matter what the circumstances of their life. And also, they should have fair, safe housing. My journey in property management started back in 2005 after coming back from Iraq. And that's when I first had the aspiration of owning a business, and also having the aspiration to help my mother manage her 2 triple-deckers. So that's what introduced me into property management as well as development as a need to help my mother. And with her triple-deckers, they were in dire need of repair. We didn't have much every year, we spent whatever little money we had to renovate one unit. It took 6 years, but we finally renovated all the units. And I'm bringing up this story. What that ended up doing is we started seeing a change in some of the tenants that housed those units as well. There was a sense of pride. So quality housing, safe, equitable housing is very important. As over the years, my work expanded, evolving from small renovations to major developments throughout the city of Boston. With one of the recent acquisitions at Hansborough Street, I took that on, just like this property right here. It needed a lot of repairs, but it was very important for me, the living conditions that I was providing the tenants. And one of the tenants that moved in, she was like, "How come you didn't paint the hallway?" she's like, this is my home. I have a lot of pride in it. And she decided she wanted to paint it herself. I'm sorry, I'm very budget conscious. so, but those are the pride that I see in folks and giving them a healthy living environment. But that doesn't stop there. Thanks to the City of Boston's Acquisition Opportunity Program, I've been able to extend my reach even further, supporting affordable housing. The AOP has been instrumental in allowing me to acquire and stabilize properties that would have otherwise fallen into the hands of private investors, potentially leading to displacement and gentrification. Under my company, Lavi Investment, we've acquired and stabilized 45 units. And I'm proud to say the 78% of those units are housed with folks that are mobile voucher tenants, and which these folks are way below the 60% AMI income. And I'm bringing that up because these are the folks that the most vulnerable families that we need to help. And the AOP has provided me that opportunity to be able to help these families. With projects like the Greenville Bundle we recently acquired with stabilized housing for families at risk of displacement, we've shown that it's possible to protect Boston's home housing stock from market forces, creating long-term affordability, ensuring that no family in good standing loses their homes. The work we are doing today is crucial for the future of our city. Together with the support of the program like AOP and the strong partnerships we've built with local housing authorities, we are building foundations for stronger, more inclusive communities. Thank you all for the support and the support of the Mayor's Office of Housing and giving us this opportunity to serve this great city. Let's keep building a Boston where every family, regardless of income, can thrive. Thank you.
So we're gonna close out this celebration, and I'm gonna ask Councilor Worrell to come up and just close us out and say a few words. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Brian Worrell, District 4 Boston City Councilor. And I couldn't miss a celebration when it comes to housing. I consider myself to be a housing advocate and continue to push for investments into housing. And AOP is one of those tools that makes sure that we stabilize communities here in the city of Boston. So many people want to live in this great city, but I think it's so important to make sure that the individuals, the communities, the people that live inside the communities are already have the ability to stay in the community, and that's what AOP gives us the opportunity to do, to stabilize communities, stabilize rents, and stabilize individuals in the city that they love. AOP is one resource, and I think that it's one of many that we use over at the MOH. So I just want to give MOH and their team a big round of applause. But I also want to just speak to the team effort, right? It takes the city, it takes contractors, as Alice says, it also takes investors to make all this happen. So I just want to thank everybody who plays into the ecosystem to make housing affordable and to increase the production of housing here in the city of Boston. Thank you, everyone, and congratulations to the Mayor's Office of Housing in the city of Boston on this accomplishment.
So thank you all again. As the mayor mentioned, we've got, I think, between 300 and 400 units in a pipeline. So we need to keep it up and keep going. So look forward to the partnership and look forward to the work ahead. Thank you so, so much.